Hello and welcome to another fabulous edition of Sexy Challenges Tips for Your Relationship, because your relationship should rock. Now today I'm going to address a topic that someone mentioned on the website that they wanted to know. Is it possible for a long distance relationship to work? And the answer simply is yes. Can a long distance relationship fail? Yes. Can any relationship thrive? Can any relationship fail? Yes. It depends on how you go about setting them up and how you go about approaching them. There are lots of reasons for a long distance relationship. Some of those might be it gives you a chance to work on your career without having the daily interactions of a relationship and the relationship things that go on. It allows people to focus on their career and branch out in that way. Also, it could be the simple reason that you don't live in the same town. One of you might be a city person, one of you might be a country person, and it just doesn't jive for you both to be living in one or the other situations. No matter the reason, there are countless numbers of ways to make a long distance relationship work. So we're going to bust some of the myths, bust some of the ideas that can help you to make that succeed if that's what you want. There is no reason why it can't, and we're going to dive into that right now. First thing is the missing of each other. There's a lot of fear that if you're not together all the time, that you're going to miss each other, that things will happen that don't necessarily want to happen, like you won't have any interactions, you lose contact with each other. But that's simply not true. Think about when you were first dating. Most of us, when we first start dating, we're not together 24/7. We're not with each other all the time. But what happens in that time that we're not together? What happens? We long for each other. We long for that connection. We think about all the great moments that we had. And those are wonderful things. Those can really build endorphins. They can build excitement. They can build a great feeling for when you do get to see each other. So the lack of each other being in each other's lives is sometimes a big benefit in that sense, so that you can build that excitement, so that when you do get a chance to be together, there's that excitement there. I know this is one of the problems a lot of couples face that move in together, that live together, is that now all of a sudden they're together all the time, and it's hard to balance that sometimes when you're used to living by yourself, or you're not, or you're just not used to living with that person. There can be a lot of clashes as you get used to that until you find that happy space. But with a long distance relationship, you don't have to enter into that right away. You can take your time getting to know each other, getting to know each other's likes and dislikes, spending small amounts of times together, weekends, maybe a week here or there on vacation, which can be a wonderful way to start a relationship. And with technology today, you can keep in communications. You can have a conversation every night with our cell phones. We always have our cell phones attached to our hip. There are countless numbers of ways to interact so you can see each other, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, all of those wonderful tools that we have available to where we can interact with each other on a daily basis. So it's not like we have to go without each other on a long-term period. Now, yes, it's not, you don't have the physical touch in that sense, but you get to see each other. You get to see that smile. You get to talk. You get to laugh. You get to see each other's facial expressions. So technology has came a long way in helping long-distance relationships thrive. So those are always good things. And one of the big problems, though, is the travel. If you are a long distance apart, if it's not easily drivable, you're going to have some expense involved in flying back and forth, or whatever kind of transportation you would take back and forth. So there is going to be always some cost in a long distance relationship, but you can mitigate that and plan for that. As far as that goes, think of all the times that you would have went out to eat together, all the times you would have done things every night that you were together, and start putting money back and help build a savings account for those trips for when you get to be together, and take those travel as far as that goes. The big thing about it is to be comfortable with what you have and not let other people tell you that it's wrong or right. Every relationship is very unique, and every relationship is very special. So if it works for the two of you, nobody can tell you it's wrong. Nobody can tell you it's right. Like I said, there's a lot of couples out there that, for either work reasons or based on their careers, what they want to get in life, they need that alone time. They need that time to focus. But always remember that when you do get a chance to be together in this long distance relationship, make sure you allow the focus to all be on your partner. Take that time. If it's a weekend, if it's a week, don't bring work with you. Don't bring things like that to you. Focus on each other. Make sure that you get a good connection so that it lasts between the time seeing you. I'd love to hear your stories on how you're making a long distance relationship work. I know there's couples out there that have relationships where they don't actually even live together. They are enjoying their independence of life, that they enjoy each other's company. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's not like they hate being together, but they just like having their own space. They have their own apartments, their own houses, things like that. And it just works for them because they have their freedom, they have their own space, but yet they're close enough to where they can come together. Now, it's not necessarily a long distance relationship, but it's basically the same principle in that manner. But just remember, again, I would love to hear your thoughts on how your long distance relationships are working, or if you're in a long distance relationship and it failed, we'd love to hear what you think was the breaking point as far as that goes. So that would be great for us to hear. Again, send your comments, send your questions. There'll be the email in the notes down at the bottom of this video for you to share your comments, or maybe you have a question that you would like answered as far as relationships go. And that's why we're here. Because at Sexy Challenges, we're making your relationship rock.